Throughout childhood and as an adult, you learn about many drugs and their side effects, which are often exaggerated to make it sound like one tiny dosage will mess you up for life. However, there are some drugs out there that are much worse than any drug the masses are aware of, so join us as we count the 10 craziest drugs ever taken. Number 10. Zolpidem. If you've ever wanted to experience sleepwalking, sleep driving, and just about anything sleep related, Zolpidem is the drug for you. Zolpidem, more commonly known as Ambien, is a sleeping pill developed to be an alternative to Valium, which usually works just fine. However, not all people were created equally, and thus, for some people, Zolpidem can cause all kinds of crazy stuff while they're asleep. There are all sorts of crazy stories about this if you search around, ranging from car crashings to peeing in the sink to drawing all over the house with a Sharpie pen. One thing's for sure, that this drug is no joke. Number 9. Human growth hormone. HGH, or human growth hormone, is exactly what the name suggests, a hormone found in humans that is required for growth. However, some people, like athletes and today's bodybuilders, have been known to inject additional HGH to help them with recovery and performance, and of course for bodybuilders to build extra muscle mass. The downside to this is that HGH is not specific to muscles. It will cause everything to grow: your heart, your head, your hands, your feet, your stomach, intestines, and even your sexual organs will increase in size. This often leaves today's bodybuilders looking pregnant with a distended gut and leaves people with clothes, shoes, and hats that no longer fit. Oh, and by the way, it's not reversible. Number 8. Scopolamine. Ever fantasized about being able to erase people's memories with a simple action? Well, turns out it could quite easily be a reality. Scopolamine is a drug that causes amnesia and suggestibility, but the really interesting thing about this drug is that it doesn't need to be injected. There doesn't even need to be a pill swallowed. No, all you need to do is blow some powder onto the faces of your victims and voila, they have no idea what they are doing or where they are. Apparently, criminals in Colombia have been blowing powder into the faces of their victims, who then proceed to empty their wallets and even assist in the robbing of their own houses. The next day, they have no idea what happened. Number 7. Krokodil. Krokodil is a cheaply produced drug which has somewhat similar effects to that of heroin, but has the additional side effect of possibly eating away at the flesh of the user. In Russia, heroin addicts who can no longer afford to fuel their addictions turn to this new way of getting their fixes. A series of reactions with over-the-counter painkillers and easily available chemicals can create a drug called desomorphine that has similar effects to heroin. As you might be able to imagine, one cannot simply cook up a mix of drugs in their kitchen and expect the result to be a pure masterpiece. Instead, a disgusting brown gunk called Krokodil is the result. The mixture was named for its tendency to turn the skin of the user scaly and reptilian, as the toxic byproducts eat away at the flesh. Heavy use leaves flesh grey and dead, sometimes rotting away to the bone. The results are truly disturbing. Number 6. Nutmeg. Nutmeg, the spice that's probably sitting in your kitchen cupboard, is actually a hallucinogenic. But before you run to inhale all the nutmeg you can find, just consider the side effects. While nutmeg is a legal and affordable alternative to the more famous hallucinogens, the trip you'd be having most likely wouldn't be enjoyable whatsoever. The highs more closely resemble psychotic detachment from reality, causing severe anxiety and a sense of impending doom. Some further side effects include rapid heart rates and palpitations, dry mouth, nausea, and urinary retention. I think I'll stick to cooking with it. Number 5. Bromo Dragonfly. Named after its molecular structure that has a strong resemblance to a dragonfly, this drug can act like an LSD on steroids, with some trips lasting up to 3 whole days. This drug is sometimes actually sold as LSD because it is active enough at low doses to be put on a tab. However, unlike an LSD trip which usually lasts a couple of hours, this trip will be active for up to 3 days, during which you will go through some tough times. Effects include seizures, spasms in your veins, and blood vessel constriction. It can even go to the point of requiring amputation in severe cases. There are mental side effects too, with some trips being described as being dragged to hell and back again. Number 4. Super powerful synthetic marijuana. Dimethyleptylparan is a US military-designed marijuana so strong that a 1 mg dose can leave soldiers unable to perform their duties for up to 3 days. Between the 1950s and the 1970s, the US military decided to use their soldiers as human guinea pigs by giving them various drugs and chemical agents to basically see what happened. One of these was an incredibly strong version of marijuana called dimethyleptylparan, or DMHP. This drug gives the classic signs of being stoned out of your mind, like red eyes, hunger, and sluggishness. However, with this substance, all you need is 0.0002 grams to have a noticeable effect on the person. At 1 mg, soldiers were completely unable to perform their duties for up to 3 days. Number 3. Rimonabant. When a person smokes marijuana, they tend to become peckish. This is known as having the munchies. Scientists decided to make a drug that had the opposite effect on the body, and therefore this made people less hungry. The result of this was Rimonabant, a drug with the exact opposite effect of the munchies. This actually worked, and the drug was even approved for weight loss. Unfortunately, this drug also had the opposite effects to other things too, such as happiness. Yes, it turns out Rimonabant made people feel depressed and suicidal. As you can imagine, it was removed from the market very quickly once this became apparent. Number 2. Super heroin. Heroin is a pretty nasty drug, causing despair and misery among many addicts. But what if I told you that there was something much, much worse? Etorphine is around 5,000 times stronger than heroin and can overdose a human being simply through touching their skin. Etorphine is a drug that works in a similar fashion to morphine, but it never really became a mainstream drug because it's simply too strong to have any side effect except for instantly killing the consumer. The drug is used to sedate large animals, and 1/100th of a gram can knock out a 3-ton elephant. Number 1. DNP. DNP is a drug that messes with the way that your body uses energy. Normally, the food you eat is turned into energy to keep your heart beating and let your muscles move, and other such important things. If you eat too much though, there will be excess energy, which your body will deposit as fat storage and will be ready to be consumed when the times are tough. DNP is a weight loss drug that was used in the 1930s because it manipulates the way your body works, and essentially your body burns all the energy without you actually having to do anything. As great as that sounds on paper, there's one major issue here. It was banned in 1938 because people were literally being cooked from the inside, with hugely raised body temperatures, heart rates, and sweating, which was often fatal. The drug is still available through some online pharmacies, and people are still taking and dying from it.